Hey, everybody, this is Paul Fontaine from WrestlingObserver.com and Fight Game Media. And right now, I'm going to bring to you this week's Wrestling Ratings Report, which you can find my written column at FightGameMedia.com. And I just thought it would be nice to give you a video/audio version of the information that I've published over at Fight Game Media. So this week, which is the week ending Wednesday, April the 14th, we have the ratings for Smackdown, Raw, NXT, and AEW. And as I'm sure you're aware, if you're watching this was a big week. Prior to now, NXT and AEW have always aired on Wednesday nights, and this is the first week that NXT moved to Tuesday nights. So if we look at the ratings patterns for this week, I've got the list of all of the ratings for this week right here, which I'm going to attempt to show you. No, that's the NXT. So we'll look at that in a bit. So bear with me as we get this together. So yeah, this is the NXT again. Sorry, my first time doing this. So there we go. So we've got, as you can see, Monday Night Raw on Monday night. It's the Raw after WrestleMania did 2.026 million viewers and a 0.68 in the 18 to 49 demo. That's up considerably from the week before. And if you look on the bottom there, I've got the 10-week average for the show, which I think is a more accurate reflection of where the ratings kind of stand right now. And you can see it's still significantly above 212,000, approximately above the 10-week average, and about 0.13, which is over 20% higher in 18 to 49. So that's a really good number for Raw. SmackDown was a little bit up from the 10-week average. It did 2.25 million viewers, as you can see here, and a 0.61 in 18 to 49. And that compares to the 10-week average of 2.175 million, so a 75,000 increase, and a 0.02 increase in 18 to 49. So relatively stable, but still a little up, which is good. Now, obviously, the big news for this week was AEW, which did 1.219 million viewers, which is just an incredible number for that show. It's the second biggest audience they've ever had, and the biggest since their debut episode in October 2019. Now, the 0.44 in 18 to 49 was one of their better numbers ever. They had one other one this year that was a little bit higher, 0.45, but this would be the second highest since October 2019. So there's several in that first month that were at or around or even above this level. But you can see the 10-week average is 0.3. So this is almost 50% higher than that. Just an incredible number. And that's due to the fact that they now have Wednesday nights on their own, as I'm sure you're aware. And then the 10-week average for audience, 775,000. 440,000 higher than that. So the gain, as you can see, is not quite 50%. So there's more older viewers. And when you dig deeper into the demos, as we'll do in a minute, you're going to see that the women and the older viewers are what drove this number. Everybody was up, but the women and the older viewers were up at a higher percentage. And then you can see NXT. Now, at first glance, you would look and you'd say, well, last week they did 768,000. This week it was 805,000. So that's not much of an increase. And the 18 to 49 was the exact same. But last week was TakeOver, and the week before was a really good number, especially in 18 to 49. So if you look at the 10-week average, it was 0.17. And this week they did a 0.22. So that it was significant. That's like 30%. So that's really good. And the audience rating was 136,000 higher. So, but when you're starting with 669,000, like that's over a 20% increase, and that's good as well. But the increase in 18 to 49 was more. So what's happening is, due to the move to Tuesday nights for NXT, their audience is getting younger and AEW's is getting older, which, depending on how you want to look at it, this is probably going to help NXT because they're getting a younger audience and they're higher up in the cable charts. And it's obviously helping AEW because their numbers are going up everywhere. But 1.2 million on cable is an incredible number. Like, they were number 2 for the night in 18 to 49. The 1.2 million is going to trail like all the cable news shows, but it's beaten everything else. So that's a really, really strong number. Now, as we get into the individual shows, I don't have the individual ratings categories for Raw and SmackDown, but we do have those for NXT and AEW. So, okay, that's the same one again. So bear with me. So we'll look here at NXT first. And as you can see, we looked at the 18 to 49, the total viewers already. Now, females 18 to 49 for NXT, 10-week average is 0.14. They were up to 0.19 this week. So that is a 0.05 increase, which is almost 40%. Men 18 to 18, that says 18, 19. It should be 18 to 49. I'll correct that. But that's little less than 20% increase. So obviously the women were up this week for NXT. Now 18 to 34, 0.1. It's almost exactly the same, but females 12 to 34 and males 12 to 34 was up. So they were really big with teenagers, this week. And 25 to 54, which is actually in Canada where I'm recording this, that's our main demo. We don't use 18 to 49, we use 25 to 54. But so that was up 0.05, which is a little over 20%. And then the 50 plus is interesting. 0.37 was the 10-week average, and this week they did a 0.4, which is not much of an increase. So they didn't really pick up too many older viewers with the move to Tuesday night, which I thought is surprising given that was their main demo. But as you'll see in the next thing I'm going to show you, that a lot of those Wednesday night viewers that were 50 plus went over to NXT or to AEW, sorry. And we'll look at the AEW numbers next. Here we go. So as we already showed you, the 18 to 49 and the total viewers. Now look at the females 18 to 49. 10-week average 0.18 up to a 0.32 this week. That's almost double. And all the talk lately has been about how they're losing their women viewers. Well, they were back this week. Men 18 to 49, I mean, it's only a 0.13 increase. So that's a little about 25%, which is not bad. I mean, it's great. 0.55 is an awesome number in that demo, but I mean, it's not significantly higher than some of these other ones, like a 0.49 there, 0.47 there, but that 0.32 for the ladies just stands out like crazy. 18 to 34, 10-week average 0.15 up to a 0.26 this week. That is 70% higher. That is crazy. Now, and you can see as well, that was as well driven by the women. 0.10 average up to a 0.19. Again, almost double. The men, though, young men, teenagers even, 0.16 to 0.23. So that is up about 0.07. So we're talking about 45% as opposed to 70% with the women. Now, the 25 to 54, which again is the prime demo here in Canada, that was only up 0.14. So that's a little less than 40%. But the 50 plus, 0.29 is the 10-week average to a 0.50. That's a 0.21. That is about a 70% increase over what they've normally been doing. So as you can see, like that 50 plus, and we don't have a breakdown of men and women in that demo, but if it's like everything else, it seems like for whatever reason, the women really, really like this show. Now, some of the information that I don't have here in charts that I can tell you about is that the AEW number was consistent throughout the show. The highest rated part of the show was the Mike Tyson, Chris Jericho spot. It was Chris Jericho singles match with Dax Harwood with Mike Tyson at ringside as a special enforcer. That did like about 1.35 million viewers, and it did a huge increase in 18 to 49. So it was the highest viewed segment on the show in terms of overall viewers. It was not the highest rated in 18 to 49, but it did have the highest increase in 18 to 49 viewers. The highest 18 to 49 viewers for the show was the main event, which is Darby Allen against Matt Hardy. And one of the things about Darby Allen that I've just been recently noticing is that his numbers among when he wrestles are huge. He is almost always the biggest ratings gainer in 18 to 49 when he has a match. Now, when he has a vignette or an interview, he tends to lose viewers. And I don't know, part of that might be because he's with Sting. And when I really looked at Sting's numbers, he is one of the biggest droppers in terms of viewers and 18 to 49 in the whole company. So I think he did really well his first couple of weeks, and the bloom is kind of off the rose with Sting. Mainly, I think, because they are constantly promising interviews with him, and he either doesn't say anything or he gets interrupted and it never leads to anything. I mean, he's wrestled once and it was on pay-per-view. He did have the one physical angle with Brian Cage, and that did huge. right before the last pay-per-view. But other than that, his numbers have been steadily declining. But Darby seems to be a big star. And over on NXT, I haven't had a look at those numbers yet, but what I've been told is that Raquel Gonzalez was a big part of their numbers. And when I looked at the numbers for the last quarter, what I noticed was that Raquel Gonzalez was the top ratings mover in 18 to 49 among all performers in NXT. And that was before the big match last week she had with Io Shirai that did over 1.1 million viewers after AEW went off the air. So that is this week's wrestling ratings report. Hopefully you guys like it. If you did, let me know. You can send me some feedback. Paul Ace Fontaine on Twitter. You can find me, Paul Fontaine at WrestlingObserver.com is my email address, or Paul Fontaine on Facebook. I'm also in the Fight Game Media podcast group on Facebook, which is very active there, active to the point where sometimes Facebook tells me I'm not allowed to post anymore. I'm not sure what that's about. But hopefully I'll keep doing these if you guys like them. Trying to keep it short, so 10 minutes or so, and I think we're hit about that limit right now. So until next week, we'll see you then. Later, dudes.